Okay. Hi, everybody. Today, I want to talk about what if somebody brings in a computer or device that's, let's call it 4 or 5 years old or more. Apple calls things like that antique or obsolescent or just really not worth it. And there's a lot of repair shops, or Apple for that matter, will basically just say, that's it. We're not going to take it. It's too old. But I don't feel like that's the way to go, especially if the computer can still handle the operating system, the apps, everything that you need it to. So I recommend that what's worked for us is we can advise, hey, look, you can go ahead with the repair if you want to, but definitely give a disclaimer. Hey, look, you might be better off to get a new device or maybe even a used device or whatever it might be, or just back up your files. So like, here's one device here called the cheese grater. Apple definitely doesn't take care of these anymore. There might be GPU issues. Yeah, there might be issues down the road. And what we frown upon doing them, we really do. But at the same time, one person's treasure, garbage is their treasure. Or you do have people coming in that are not so forwarding, where they might have somebody's computer who just passed, a loved one, for there's some type of, significant value to it to them. And so we just want to understand them. Obviously, we're not psychologists here, but as another example, we might have an HP laptop that comes in here and just notoriously overheats, especially in this day and age, the older civilian ones, that's like 6, 7 years old plus. So definitely mention if you know of issues with it. Definitely mention inherent flaws in the manufacturing of that device, right? There are some devices that just don't make any sense whatsoever. If it's a MacBook, a 2010 or previous, that can't keep up with the operating system or apps, or just can't handle the newer updates, then it doesn't make sense. And then you definitely want to like have that firm just stop and just say, look, we're going to recover files and that's it. In the past, we've had G4s come in here and they've been nothing but like a shit show. We've done them. And what'll happen is these G4s, some of them are 15 plus years old, and the consumer might have like in their mind a way it's going to go, but it's impossible sometimes to go to like a different, way in what they're sort of having in their head. So you just want to have a meeting of the minds if you do decide to kind of go down that road. At the same time, I understand if you take a hard stance and say, I don't want to do that. This is my business. This is what I do. But in the age of mindful, diagnostics and repairs and computer services and really trying to be sustainable nowadays, you really want to think and be in the mind of the customer and just understand exactly what's going on. So like, again, just to recap, if there's a computer, it's dirt old, way too old. There's sort of like two things you want to think about. You want to think about if you know of any inherent flaws, if there's GPU issues, if it overheats, if they're going to be in the same position down the road, even though you fix it. Think about if there is something like that. If there is something like that and you decide to go down and venture down that road, definitely let the customer know that these are known issues, and maybe even like give a warranty that's a little less than you're used to, or just say there is no warranty, knowing that grain of salt of what's going on and what the inherent flaw is. Also, if there's not an issue or like some flaw that you know about, but it's sort of like coming up to that point where like it might not take the next upgrade or work with updates, then mention that as well. Let them know you don't recommend it, but if it's something really they want to do, go for it. But also what I do recommend, if you do venture down that road, give another option. Give the option of, we can go with a newer computer. We can go with a refurbished computer. We can clone it over to that computer. I think if you give these options and scenarios and like option 1, 2, 3, you can't go wrong, because that way you give the risks, you give the rewards. More expensive versus cheaper and might not last as long. Put that in the hands of the consumer, and they know what's going on. And that way, like, they have all of the information needed. And it's not so much that you sort of wipe your hands off of it, but you're doing the best thing you could do, again, in mindful computer repairs and diagnostics, in the sense where, you let them know all the options available to them. And that way everybody feels good about which way to go. That's it for today. And hope you enjoyed it. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Please.